I'm Virginia Trioli. The top story on ABC News Breakfast. The federal opposition leader Tony Abbott has accepted Julia Gillard's challenge to debate her on the economy. But Mr Abbott and the Prime Minister are yet to agree on when and where the debate will be held.
Mr Abbott says he's prepared to take part as long as the Prime Minister is willing to front a separate town hall-style meeting in Brisbane tomorrow.
I've agreed to a half-an-hour debate, largely on the economy, just her and just me, moderated by the ABC's Chris Yeoman tomorrow night.
For more, Melissa Clark joins us now from Canberra. And Melissa, 12 or so hours before Tony Abbott suggested deadline for the debate, where are things?
Well, things are still in negotiations, which is where they've been for quite some time, but there has been incremental progress made here. Of course, we had Julia Gillard challenging Tony Abbott to another televised debate on the economy after she initially didn't want to do more than one, and we've had Tony Abbott refuse for some time, saying that his campaign schedule has been set and he couldn't move it, and he shouldn't move it just to suit the ALP. Then they had the forum at the Rooty Hill RSL in Western Sydney, where they both appeared one after the other but didn't debate each other. Well, Tony Abbott wanted another one of those public forums in Queensland this time. Julia Gillard said, well, if we're both going to be there, give us a debate. Tony Abbott has said he's willing to do a debate of some form, but he wants that to be tonight on the ABC and then have Julia Gillard come to this forum in Brisbane on Wednesday night as well and do the public forum, but have the two events separately. Now, after Tony Abbott made that offer last night, the campaign director for the Liberals wrote to the campaign head office for the ALP, putting that offer to them. Julia Gillard has responded saying she's glad Tony Abbott's agreed to an economic debate, and it's now up to the parties to agree to the details of time and duration and the rules and how it would work. But she has suggested that she would prefer to have both the debate and the public forum in Brisbane all together at once, that she would prefer to have the debate in Brisbane on Wednesday night rather than having a separate one tonight and then a public forum on Wednesday in Brisbane. So there's still a bit of detail and a bit of compromise to be reached between the two sides, but it does seem now that we will, at some point, get another televised debate between the two leaders.
And so it goes on. While the negotiations continue, Melissa, Tony Abbott will get the chance today at the National Press Club to make one final pitch to Australian voters.
He's got the floor all to himself today at lunchtime. This is his opportunity to outline his vision, give a speech and then take questions from the press at the National Press Club. Julia Gillard gets her turn a little later in the week, as does the Greens leader Bob Brown. But for the moment, Tony Abbott will use that moment in the spotlight to make some announcements on some welfare changes that he's proposing. Both sides of the political divide here have been using the campaign to push to get more people off the unemployment queues and into work. Tony Abbott is expected to announce today that he will have provisions that for young people, so people under the age of 30 who've been unemployed for more than 12 months, there'll be cash bonuses for them if they take up a job and keep it for 12 months. So they can get $2,500 cash bonus if they get a job and hang on to it for 12 months. And if they can hang on to it for 2 years, that goes up to $4,000. So this is part of the cash incentive to get people back into work and attempting to lift the participation rate.
And Melissa, Kevin Rudd, well, he's everywhere. The former Prime Minister, or somebody remarkably similar to him, fronted up at the Q&A studios last night.
It seems Kevin Rudd's not just haunting Julia Gillard, but he's haunting Tony Abbott now as well, because someone who bears a remarkable resemblance to Kevin Rudd wanted to have a bit of a word, had a bit of a bone to pick with Tony Abbott. So let's have a little look at that from Q&A last night.
And because I do look a little bit like Kevin Rudd, when he was popular, I was popular. His popularity is gone. You're very popular at the moment,
Well, thank you, Paul.
Deservedly so. My question is, how can I be less like Kevin and more like you?
He really does come from the electorate, apparently.
I think that would be an impossible transformation.
So just a little bit of light comic relief as we get to the business end of the campaign. So as we said, Tony Abbott will be in Canberra today for that National Press Club address. Julia Gillard, on the other hand, will be back up in northern Queensland. She's starting out in Townsville and will probably get around a few marginal seats in northern Queensland today.
And we need all the comic relief we can get. Melissa Clark, thank you.